Look at that beautiful couple. December is their anniversary, and we are celebrating kind of a private wedding, renew our wedding vow in the wedding church in Cana. And the beauty of it, beauty, it's not so beauty, the church is empty and closed. I have to convince the shop, people from the shop to help me, and the sister came to open the door just for me. The church is closed because of the war between Israel and Hamas, ISIS, from Gaza. Here you can see the Greek Orthodox Church of the same story. It's the same synagogue, and I don't know how long she's gonna give me to bless you, my dears, here. Then I'll try to do that as quick as I can. Then the couple is Katie and Matt, and let's talk about what we can see here. First of all, the church is not so old. It started at the 17th century, but what you see here is the beginning of the 20th century. It was a synagogue, remember? It was a synagogue. Then this is the yard of the synagogue, and we believe that the synagogue itself is there. Sadly, it's not in the ends of the church yet. But we can see beautiful things here. First of all, 2 columns maybe from the synagogue. You're talking about the first centuries, a little bit after Jesus' time, but it doesn't matter that that synagogue wasn't here at the time of Jesus. And the 2 tower represents Katie and Matt, groom and bride. Jesus is right there, and above him is Mary and the two angels. Above Jesus? Not because she's more important than Jesus. It's because the story is of hers, and we will talk about the mother of Jesus and the connection to the wedding. Another thing that they asked me to do is to bless the Jerusalem cross that they bought, and of course I will send it to them. If you want, later on I will tell you exactly how should you have your own crosses or Bible as well. Then let's talk a little bit about the event. It was on the third day. On the third day, a wedding took place at Cana in the Galilee. So first of all, now you know that you are in Galilee. The third day, it can be so many options. The first one is, it was Tuesday, and when religious Jews have been married, they are trying to do that on Tuesday, because on Tuesdays is twice as good, God mentioned, and in that case, it's more important, and the word twice is there. The third day, it can be, and this is what I'm trying to figure out. Remember that he actually resurrected at the third day, and I think the story of the wedding is more than just a miracle. And we will try to talk about the connection between that to the crucifixion later on. But let me first enter the church, because I'm not sure that I will have lots of time. Wow, it's so strange to see it so empty. I usually come with couples here to celebrate the reunion. We actually renew our vows, and we are trying to forget the bad things, and we deleted it by saying I love you and I will be with you forever. Later on, we will enter to the place beneath it, but you can already see the antiques, and you can see a mosaic floor. Now, the mosaic floor is important. Wait a minute, I have to take the cross with me. You can see the replica of it. You will read it in English and I will read it in Hebrew. It's actually Aramaic. That's a mosaic floor, and this is it. זכר לטוב יוסה בר תנחום בר בוטה ובנוי דהבדנן הידע טבלת היא להון מלכי ברכתן. Someone built a mosaic floor, or even the synagogue, and he dedicated it to the people who did it. Then in that case, what we find is only that part, sadly. Yeah, I wish that we could find more than that, but it actually tells us that it used to be a synagogue. And the wedding was in the synagogue. Why in the synagogue? You can see. Yeah. Why in the synagogue? Because that's the meaning of the word synagogue. In the synagogue at the time of Jesus, you didn't pray. That he did 3 times in the Jewish temple, but you did so many things. It was like a community place. You studied the Torah, you gossip, weddings, and any other thing that connected to the society of that Jewish society. What we can see here. The wedding. First, let me take a picture of it. And Jesus and Mary was in the center. Soon I will talk about the meaning of it. Here you can see Mary from Fatima, and I've been there, Fatima, Portugal, and Jesus. And because we are on Christmas time, just before Christmas, you can see the nativity, and what is behind the nativity are tombs from the Byzantine time, let's say 5th, 6th century. Such an amazing place. Matt, I know that your wedding anniversary was at December 1st. Sadly, because of the war, I couldn't come to here, but I did my best to do that at December, same month. For me, it's very important to do that, and thanks to the sister there, I could do that. And this is, for me, so important. The vases full with water for purification are there. 3 here and 3 there. It's so strange for me to talk in the church, in their church, because usually it's full with ceremonies, but I'm alone. I'm the only one. And because I cannot enter more than that, let me put the pictures on the floor. And we will add the Jerusalem cross on it. The sister gave me the opportunity to visit antiques, which is usually open when the people are, the tourists are here, and I'm really so happy of her kindness. First of all, she opened the door for us, Matt, Carrie, and then she asked me if I want to go down. And of course I want to go there because it's such an amazing place. Let me see if she opened the other door as well, because Yes, then I can actually do it from here. What you can see here houses. Houses next to the synagogue. Usually, if it's next to the synagogue, it means that it might be the houses of the head of the synagogue, the rabbi. Look at the vases that we found here. And let me show you everything through there. I'm so happy that I'm doing it. It's almost the end of December. Math, Katie, I did it. All right. This is the entrance. Remember the 2 columns, the 4 columns, 2 of them are from the real time, and that the church, you saw the nativity there, and that color symbolized tombs, Byzantine tombs from the 5th to the 6th century. The synagogue is at the white, the yellow color, and we saw here the mosaic floor. Remember, synagogue goes that way. Why that way? Because this is the way to Jerusalem. And usually the idea of the synagogue is to face to Jerusalem, although in that time as well. Church is facing to the east. And now you know that the altar was actually part of the east. Just for them to understand, church from 19th century, and then again 19th century, and 14th century's buildings. The tombs we saw, the Jewish synagogue we saw, and private dwelling, and that's where we are now looking at, from 1st to the 4th century. I want you to understand that, the church is there. I want us to sit at one of the beautiful places here and to talk about the miracle or the sign, because I think it's more than just a beautiful story that you can find only at the book of John and the Gospel of John that was written around 100 AD. It's totally different than the other synoptic. And here we are. It's so strange to be alone here. I feel like I'm a criminal. I'm doing something that is... Oops. Then let me live in the pictures of Katie and Math right here. And let me try to read it. I hope that I won't forget to read it in Hebrew as well, because it can happen. If not, next video I will do that. I will start with the Hebrew. Then let's start with that. On the 3rd day, and now we know that the 3rd day is a day of resurrection, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Jesus, listen carefully, Jesus' mother was there. That's the first name that was mentioned. And what about Mary? Why the word Mary is not mentioned here? Maybe because there is a reason for that, and let's continue with that. Then Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus, here is only the second here, and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. You can understand that we had to have something with it. Maybe the mother knew the family better than the disciples, that's for sure, but maybe better than Jesus. Or maybe John wants to tell us that Mary is not here because of her, actually, motherhood. Maybe she is something else. Let's continue. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, they have no more wine. Again, Mary is not mentioned here as Mary, Jesus' mother. And she is the one who noticed it. Now let me talk a little bit about Mary, because some other churches see Mary in a different way, but I see Mary as connection between Jesus and us. Well, I know that the Catholics see it as well. She doesn't solve the problem, but she can see the problem, and this is very important. Then she realized that there's no wine, and this is strange. Usually it's not supposed to happen, because in a Jewish wedding, until today, there's a lot of wine. And usually there is at least 3 times more than that. Because if there will be no wine, you can understand the gossip that they will have later on. Then in that case, usually you're serving the best wine. And then when you're a little bit drunk, it can be second best wine. I'm sure that in wineries you can find the second best wine as well. It's cheaper, and they are all very happy anyhow, then why to spend a lot of money? And then he said something. John 2. Woman, why do you involve me? Jesus replied, my hour is not yet to come. Woman, it is matter. But when the Bible, the Old and the Old one as well, when he wanted to talk about a mission, he doesn't use the word you or even the name. Woman can be a very good idea. It's not the mother, it's not Mary. You have something to do. You have something to do. You do have a mission. And remember, it's the first miracle. Soon it will be the first miracle or the first sign. And Jesus said, my hour is not yet to come. My hour. What do you mean by that? When he will be on the cross, he will say, my hour just came. And woman, he will use woman, that's your son now. When he talked about the relationship, the future relationship between Mary and John after his crucifixion, after his resurrection, then in that case, that is the hour. And she's got to wait for that hour. My hour, let me read it again. My hour is not yet to come. His mother said to the servant, oh, this is totally a Jewish mother. She didn't even answer him. She told the servants, do whatever it tells you. Nearby stood 6 tons water jars, the kind used by the Jews, not Jews for ceremonial or for purification. A ceremonial washing purification, washing hands purification. I will talk about it in about a minute. Each holding from 20 to 30 gallons, which is 80 to 20 liters. Jews, at the beginning it was only the priests. When the priests had to do something holy, they had to purify the hand. They used stone dish or stone glasses, because stone, just like that, will be pure. Nothing can destroy its pureness. Even if a pork will enter to it and swim or try to lick the water, the stone glass will be cured. Just clean it and that's it. If it will be pottery, you have to throw it away. Then in that case, at the beginning, only priests use it, but later on, especially after the destruction of the temple, but even before, as we can actually see, People used it for purification. Then when the Bible mentioned the stone water jars, you can understand the meaning of it now. Jesus said to the servants, fill the jars with water, so they fill them to brim. Then he told them, now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet. He turned water into wine. Wine is equal to blood. And remember, while Jesus was on the cross, when the hour came, woman, when the Roman soldiers used the spear, what we saw there is water and blood, water and wine. We started the Bible, a book of John, with water and wine, and we're ending the Bible, I think it's chapter 9, but I'm not sure, with water and wine. This is symbolic. I think now you can understand it much better than that. And the master of the water tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from through the servants who had drawn the water. They knew, but he didn't. Then he called the bridegroom aside and said, everyone brings out the choice one first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now. You, is that a bridegroom, or that's Jesus? What Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of signs through which he revealed his glory, and the disciples believed him. Gosh, I know that it's like 20 minutes, but Matt and Katie, it's like you're here now. And I know that the love between you is so strong, because Matt actually tells me that from time to time. He became a friend of mine. He is actually one of my YouTube subscribers, and I will be happy if you will be just like him. And we are talking from time to time, and he gives me missions, as you can see, from time to time. I don't know if that was the water jar, but it might be for oil or something like that. But what is important is that it's made of stone. This is amazing. I can hear that. I think I'm not the only one here now. I'm not happy. I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy that I succeeded doing it before the end of December. I'm more than happy because when I'm doing it, I'm forgetting the war, the horrible war that now are in Israel. A lot of my friends been hurt by that. And just yesterday, I've been in a funeral of one of the people who've been kidnapped and killed. What can I say? It's a strange time, but with it, we do have, I do have, because of you, I do have a lot of reason to escape. Look how beautiful is that Greek Orthodox Church. Again, I know that you wanted me to take a video of it, but they're not helping me with that. Then thank you for being with me here. And I will be more than happy to see you again in my YouTube channel. And you can ask me whatever you want. If you want to support my channel, yes, you can. Then at the description, you can find, let me show you something. At the description, you can find PayPal, and that's where you can find how should you buy your own cross or Bible, and PayPal to support me. And just next to the like button, you can find super thanks, it's called. Merry Christmas, my friend. Sadly, Christmas in Israel is never been strong because only 2% of the Israelis are Christians. And this year, there's not a lot of reasons to celebrate. Then, if you saw my video of Jerusalem, then you know that there's nothing that's going on in Jerusalem. And sadly, I won't be able to enter Bethlehem to visit the Church of the Nativity this year. But I'm sending all my love to everyone who can celebrate, and send me a little bit of that holiday. Then, my friends, Merry Christmas, Kathy, Matt, and let me add Matt and Linda as well. Merry Christmas. Oh, no, don't go away, the Hebrew version, all right? It will take me only 2 more minutes. Then open your book of John, chapter 2, and let me look for it. Not that, here it is. And that from the beginning. וביום השלישי הייתה חתונה בקנה אשר בגליל, ואם יהושע הייתה שם, ויהושע, ג'יזוס, יהושע, ותלמידיו היו גם הם קרואים אל החתונה, wedding, חתונה. ויחסר היין, יין, wine, ותאמר אם יהושע אליו, יין אין להם, ויאמר אליה יהושע, מה לי ולך אישה? woman, אישה. איתי עדיין לא באה, ותאמר עמו אל המשרתים, ככל אשר יאמר לכם תעשו. והנה 6 כדי אבן, ערוכים שם כמשפט היהודים לטהרתם. היהודים, Jews, לטהרתם, purification. And that actually tells us that John didn't write it for the Jews, because the Jews knows what the meaning of it. He wrote it for the non-Jewish community, and as I know, John wasn't, then he didn't write it for the Jews. He wrote it for the pagans who started to believe in Jesus, but they didn't know a lot about Jewish traditions. ויאמר אליהם ישוע, מלאו לכם הכדים מים, water, וימלאום עד למעלה. ויאמר שאבו נא והביאו אל רב המסיבה ויביאו. ויטעם רב המסיבה את המים אשר נהפכו ליין, ולא ידע מאין הוא, ועולם המשרתים אשר שאבו את המים ידעו ויקרא רב המסיבה לחתן. ויאמר אליו, כל איש ייתן בראשונה את היין הטוב, וכאשר ישתכרו ייתן להם את הגרוע. ואתה צפנת היין הטוב עד עתה. זאת תחילת האותות אשר עשה יהושע בקנה אשר בארץ הגליל, וגלה את כבודו ויאמינו בו תלמידיו. הבשורה על פי יוחנן. יוחנן, John, the Gospel of John 2. Just before you are leaving me, I know that I sound like a priest, but I think it's a wedding vow. Then look at your wife, look at your husband, and say, let's leave the bad things. Let's open a new chapter of love. And love in Christmas time is amazing. Hey, hello, good to see you. That's the nun that I know. And one more thing. The first wine was excellent, but the second one was best. The first one was the Old Testament, and the New Testament is better. Thank you for being with me. See you in my next video. I'm so happy that I've been here, Matt and Katie, and Matt and Linda.